Hello everyone, let's listen to a new story today. Just close your eyes, listen to the story, and then we shall discuss the new vocabulary. The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse was written by William Saroyan. The story reminds us of the importance of honesty. The plot revolves around the narrator, who is a young Armenian boy named Aram. He belonged to the Garoglanian tribe which had migrated to California. The people of this tribe were very honest, proud, and wealthy from their own point of view. Forget stealing, they did not even take advantage of people for their own benefit. In California, most people thought that the tribe belonged there. That's why they were friendly towards them. Nobody knew how the tribe earned money, but the honesty of the Garoglanian tribe, which had been famous for 11 centuries, was well known in the locality. Aram's family lived on the border of the town on Walnut Avenue. Now, this tribe had a crazy streak, which means craziness was one of its characteristics. Aram's uncle Khosrow and his cousin Murad were both considered quite mad, though Murad's father was Zurab. Their tribe was such that Aram believed that the distribution of the various kinds of spirits in their tribe was capricious and vagrant, since the entire tribe was like a single family. Capricious means random or wild, and vagrant means something which keeps on moving from one place to another. Khosrow, Aram's uncle, was so crazy that when Arak, his son, informed him about their burning house, he grew impatient as usual and asked him to pay no attention to it. The barber who was trimming Khosrow's famous large moustache also tried to explain how serious the situation was, but Khosrow scolded him too. Khosrow was a large man who was gentle at heart but was very impatient. He was very practical, but he missed his motherland Armenia. His nature was weird. Now Murad, Aram's cousin, was a very confident boy, but he was crazy in his own way. He lived by his own rules and loved animals. He understood animals and had a way with them, which means he knew how to tame or train them as he wanted. Once he stole an Assyrian farmer, John Byro's horse. He hid it from everyone for 1 month in an abandoned vineyard which belonged to a farmer named Fetwahayan. Fetwahayan was once very proud of that vineyard, but later nobody came to visit it. A vineyard is a farm of grapes. Murad decided to take the horse to Aram after training it for 1 month because he knew how his cousin loved horses. Aram really loved horses, but since his family was poor, he at first couldn't even believe his eyes when he saw his cousin sitting on the beautiful white horse outside his window. Murad had come very early in the morning, but since the season was summer, it wasn't entirely dark outside. Aram was frightened when he realized that his cousin Murad had stolen the horse, but he finally decided that since they both only wanted to ride the horse, it was okay. It was not anything like stealing money or something like it. They both sang and rode the horse together, and then one by one, but Aram fell from the horse when he tried to ride it all by himself, though he had great confidence that he was as good a rider as Murad. At first, Aram could not make the horse move, but when it began to run, it went towards the vineyard of Dikram Halabian, who was another farmer. The horse jumped 7 vines before Aram fell from its back. Murad then found the horse and hid it in the barn at Fetwahayan's vineyard, as usual. A barn is a place where dry grass or hay and grains are stored. The barn where the white horse was hidden had oats and dry alfalfa for it to eat. Murad had arranged that. When Aram returned home, he saw his uncle Khosrow sitting in the parlor, enjoying some cigarettes and coffee. He was thinking about his past. Now, a parlor is actually a living room meant for entertaining guests. John Byro, who had learned Armenian to be able to socialize with the tribe, paid a visit and complained about his white horse, which he thought was stolen. He did not know who did it, but he blindly trusted the Garaglanian tribe. He had no idea Murad had stolen it. He had a saray, which is a light four-wheeled carriage pulled by a horse. His saray was useless without his horse, so he was very upset, but Uncle Khosrow shut him up by saying he should not pay any attention to the fact that the horse was stolen. John said that he had to walk 10 miles to reach there because his horse was stolen, and that he had bought the horse for $60. But Khosrow too complained about his painful left leg and said that he spat on money. Spat is the past form of spit. He then slammed the door and left angrily. Aram's mother tried to comfort John by explaining that Khosrow was gentle at heart. After this, Aram ran to Murad, who was sitting under a peach tree trying to treat a robin who had hurt one of its wings. He wanted Murad to keep the horse so that he could learn to ride it, but Murad said that for that they needed the horse for a year, and that meant stealing the horse even if they were not going to sell it off to somebody else. Nevertheless, they both decided to keep it for 6 months. But after 2 weeks, they met the farmer John while going to Fetwahian's vineyard. John checked all the teeth in the horse's mouth, but he still did not think that it was his own. He, like the others, trusted the Garaglanian tribe blindly. He could never doubt their honesty. So when Murad said that the horse was theirs and its name was My Heart, he believed them. This made the children realize their mistakes, and they quietly left the horse at John's farm without informing anyone. When John found his horse, he was very happy but confused to see his horse stronger and better tempered. Better tempered means it behaved properly because of Murad's training. He shared the news with Aram's mother, but Uncle Khosrow, who was also there, told him to stop talking about it. And now that everything was back to normal, he said he should forget about the entire thing. Typical Uncle Khosrow. Now let's discuss the vocabulary. The first examples are from the lesson. Armenian. A native of Armenia, the Indo-European language of Armenia. That's the second meaning of the word. And this is the example from the lesson. This story is about two poor Armenian boys who belong to a tribe whose hallmarks are trust and honesty. This is straight from the lesson. Now, another example which I have given for you. My new neighbor who can speak Russian is Armenian. Now, people of Armenia can speak Russian. Assyrian, a native of northern Iraq and southeastern Turkey. It also means a dialect of Aramaic. Then another visitor arrived, a farmer named John Byro, an Assyrian who out of loneliness had learned to speak Armenian. Again, this is from the lesson. Assyrians are from the Middle East. This example is given by me. Longings. It means deepest wishes. My first longings had been longings to ride. This was said by Murad. My brother's longings are never ending. He always wants something or the other. Consequently. It means thus or hence. Consequently, even though I could see the horse so magnificent, even though I could smell it so lovely, even though I could hear it breathing so exciting, I couldn't believe the horse had anything to do with my cousin, since they were poor. The man lit a cigarette near the gas station. Consequently, there was fire everywhere in a few minutes. Nevertheless, it means still or yet or anyway. Nevertheless, I hoped in time to learn to ride the way my cousin Murad rode. I thought the books were too expensive. Nevertheless, I bought them. Patted, which means tapped. My cousin Murad put his arms around the horse, pressed his nose into the horse's nose, patted it. The teacher patted my back when I gave the correct answer. Pious means pure. There was a pious stillness and humor in each of them, which on the one hand delighted me and on the other frightened me. The atmosphere of the temple was pious. Stillness means quietness. The first example is the same as given above. The second one, there was stillness in the forest at night. Irrigation ditch. Now, irrigation means the supply of water to land or crops, and a ditch is a narrow channel dug at the side of a road or field. An irrigation ditch is a ditch to supply dry land with water. That year we lived at the edge of town on Walnut Avenue. Behind our house was the country, vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches, and country roads. The people of Egypt rely on irrigation ditches for farming. Orchard, a place where fruits are grown. Fruits, because a lot of variety is grown. The first example is given above. The owner of the orchard gave us some strawberries for free. Country. Now there are two meanings. The first meaning is nation and the second meaning is farmland. It's a village area. Behind our house was the country, vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches, and country roads. The countryside is always very peaceful. Avenue, a broad road in a town or city, with trees along its sides. In less than 3 minutes, we were on Olive Avenue. My friends live along the same avenue. Streak, it means line, and here in the lesson it means characteristic. Every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere. The streak of innocence is common in young children. Descendant, a person from the later generation of a family. Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. Sheetal is a descendant of the royal family of Madhya Pradesh. Capricious means random. The distribution of the various kinds of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. The administration is capricious in that company, hence it is suffering from huge losses. Vagrant. There are two meanings. The first meaning is a gypsy, a person who moves from one place to another. And the second meaning, according to the lesson, is something which is not fixed or constant. The first example is given above. The second example is a bad leader's decisions are vagrant. Snorted, a sudden loud noise made from the nose. The horse stood on its hind legs, snorted, and burst into a fury of speed. I think the dog is suffering from a bad cold, that is why it keeps snorting. Fury of speed. Fury means wild or violent anger, and fury of speed means lots of speed. The first example is given above, below snorted. I could hear the fury of speed when she sped by in a sports car. Alfalfa, a plant native to southwestern Asia. There were some oats and dry alfalfa in the barn. Alfalfa is mostly used for fodder. Sip means to drink something by taking small mouthfuls. He sat in the parlor, sipping, smoking, and remembering the old country. Blow and then sip the tea if it is too hot. Slamming, an insult or an insulting attack. Excellent. Shut something with force. All these are meanings of slamming, and here it means shut something with force. He got up and stalked out of the house, slamming the screen door. Slamming a door is rude. You must never do that. Stalked means, and it's actually the past tense of stalk. It means walk, march proudly or angrily. The first example is given above. The second is the child stalked out of the room when his mother did not give him another bar of chocolate to eat. Find the meanings of the following words and frame sentences. Daybreak, magnificence, barn, mysterious, bellies, refused, humor, delighted, leaped, vineyards, enormous, furious, practical, sake, dripping, oats, parlor, Surrey, dweller, eagerly. Thank you.